Hello and welcome. This is Theresa. Thanks for visiting today. If you're in the live, please feel free to chat. I'd love to say hi to you. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to YouTube. So in front of me, I have my Bits and Bobs pouch. And I just want to look at something. Okay. So today, crafting around the house topic is going to be tea bags. Most of us have tea bag. Okay, let me say that word again. Most of us have tea bags in our cupboards. So that's why I thought that would be a good crafting around the house topic. And I did coffee last week, so this is a good follow-up to coffee. So when you think tea bag, you might think tea dyeing paper. That's also another wonderful use for tea bags. But I'm not going to talk about dyeing paper today. I'm going to talk about what you can do with those tea bags that you use to make a cup of tea or to make a vat of tea for tea dyeing. So let me just pull out some tea. You know, am I silly, but I hoard these things. Let's see if I can find one more. That's not a tea dye. Wow, this is why I hoard them, because when you use them, then they are no more, and then you have to make more, and I'm feeling too lazy to make more. Very exciting to come into the channel and see that I have a nice round number of 560 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. That's a true blessing to me. All right, so before I get too carried away, I need to think about which tea bag I'm going to use for which. So I need some little people pictures. And my typical go-to station for people, hi Cindy, welcome, is this drawer over here. See if I can find any little people in here, not dolls. Okay, I'm going to use one of those. That guy's too big. So I want to start off with using my small pieces of tea bag. That's my smallest, so that will work. So first I want a lady, and then I want a little piece of background. That would be lovely. I just need a little piece. Well, my mini trimmer has disappeared on me. It was here just a minute ago. Weird. I was just using it and my little scoreboard at the same time, and I moved them out of the way for the video, and now they're MIA. Silly things just grow legs and walk away from you. And I'm sure they're staring me in the face right now. Oh, I know where I moved them. I'm like this. If I don't put things right back into their designated space, they could just be off to the side and I won't be able to see them. So I kind of want a real mute spot with very light ink for this. Hi Cindy, welcome. I'm crafting around the house with tea bags today. Let me just draw that. I finally found my weighted glove, and then I go and leave it somewhere that's out of reach. For those of you who aren't real familiar with me, I have hand trimmers. I swear it affects other parts of me too. And oh my gosh, I love crafting with tea bags, Cindy. And anyways, I have a weighted glove. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy another one that I use, and it helps to steady my hand a bit. Yeah, so if you don't know what familiar trimmers are, no, these are from a digital. These are all from various digitals, like Scrimping Mommy. These probably are all Scrimping Mommy. But like, you know, I get them from Sampool and all different places. So this one needs trimmed. The mini cabinet cards, yeah. I've given up trying to put my digitals away according to creators, because it just doesn't, it might facilitate their needs for me to give the creators a shout out, which is all well and good, but it doesn't facilitate my needs for being able to find things when I want them. So I am getting ready to totally transition to moving my digitals around. Whoa, I cannot talk today. So that they're categorized by people. I have a lot of it categorized by people. So that's going to go like that, just to give it some stability. like yesterday or the day before, I was working hard on putting stations together, crafting stations, because I have, in total I have 3 trolleys. One stays stationary and it mostly has supplies in it. That wasn't a very straight cut. Yeesh. And then one trolley has like my tools that I grab all the time, glues, things like that. And well, that's exciting. I hope I'm giving you ideas, Cindy. I mean, it's nothing new, but oh my gosh, there's so many ideas out there. It takes a lot of time and effort to watch all the different videos and see all the different ideas. Okay, now I'm going to give this an ink. Yeah, so one trolley has Tim Holtz in 1.5 of the shells, and then the other half has, well, almost all 3 shells actually. I just have some textile overflow on one of them, but the top shelf is all Tim Holtz sprays and inks and alcohol inks and crayons and watercolor pencils, and then the next shelf has the pastes, microflakes, things like that. Okay, now got to move these out of the way because they interfere with my focus. So this is the piece I was going to use. So now I'm going to get into my stamps. Just gonna find a fun little stamp. Yeah, what you're saying about photographs, Cindy, I am trying to build my collection so that I can take some out of hoard mode, because I like using real ephemera a lot. It just is more satisfying to me to use real ephemera. So I'm going to just stamp the back to give it some interest. Oh yeah, I love using coffee filters. Okay, that just gave it some interest. I'm just reminding myself of what I'm doing. So now I need my new cart that I just got, because I categorized all of my flowers. It's going to take me a minute to think where they're at though, because this is new to me. Really, Theresa? There they are. It needs to say flowers. I didn't get it labeled. Yeah, I wasn't going to use digitals when I first started, but I succumbed. But then I keep going back to them. I need something very small. I think I can make that small enough. See if I can hold still long enough so that I don't break this fragile piece while I'm trying to figure out I want to use this piece. Trying to decide which side I like more. Okay, I like that side more. I need a wipe. I agree about cutting up vintage books. In fact, the first thing I do when I get a new vintage book is I start taking it apart to some degree, at least taking one folio out, just to christen it, so to speak. Let's see if I can use this little leaf without breaking it. Hi, Tanya. Good morning to you too. It is 12:19 here in Idaho. Okay, don't try the left hand, try the right. Oh, I might be more successful. And where do I want to put it? Just like that. We're not going to try and be fancy, because if I try to be fancy, I'll mess it up. Okay, so now let's see, flowers in the picture. And maybe oops, I gotta put this one away. Maybe, no, I don't want to do a word. Maybe do I have a little tiny, teeny tiny snippet? And I was thinking a circle, but I think I want even smaller than that, unless I know what I'll do. Where's my ink? Right there in front of me. wonder if I can use my tweezers. Now it's time for that. We're going to try some transparent gesso for this. Whoa, I didn't need that much. Actually, I think I'm just going to use my finger. I've never tried gesso this way, and it appears it's not going to work. I actually usually use Mod Podge. I thought gesso might stick, but nope. Okay. Or is it sticking to my finger? Where's my Mod Podge? I've never used this one before. Has anybody used this one? Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. Do not shake, causes bubbles. Apply to highlight and add dimension to projects. Huh. I don't think I'm going to experiment with that either. I've already experimented once. So let's try a little nori. Lid's all dusty. That's what you get from living in a trailer. Okay, I'm going to use my finger again. Oh, some of it's sticking. think I might be better off if I do it this way. Hi Rita, welcome. Not that one, silly. That one. I'm going to use the Tim Holtz sanding. I was using it to try and rough up my my eyelash trim, and now I've got floss in it. So I have to go slow because of the tremors, and I'll mess up my project if I'm not careful. So feel free, oh, I was gonna say feel free to scroll ahead, but you guys are live, you can't do that. But for you folks that watch on the replay, feel free to scroll ahead. You guys on the live are stuck unless you decide to leave. So that was a very fiddly project to work with because I was trying to utilize my very small piece of tea bag paper, and so it was very fiddly, and I feel like there's no tea bag paper right there. So I probably will go over this with Mod Podge to see if I can just make sure that that is sealed more and more sturdy. And then the back is just a little design. This is so small, I didn't really have any intentions of making that into a writing spot. So that's project number 1. Now, for the next piece, I'm going to say that I want to encourage you to think about using tea bag paper for collage. So let's see what that looks like. Hi April, welcome. Let's see, it's 12:30 here, so 12, 1, 2. So are you done with the estate help that you're doing today? I think you said you were doing that at 11. And I'll bet you were tired today. I bet you're tired right now. April often burns the midnight oil, but she outdid herself last night trying to help Dana. Speaking of which, April, do you want to give a shout out for Dana? Because you know I can't talk and craft at the same time. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the really tiny spots, but I'll get that spot covered up. Ah, don't tear. Whoops. Darn. Fine. We'll just work with it. So I just like the texture that I get with this. And something different. I get bored with same old, same old. Of course, I say that around my husband and he doesn't get too nervous. Ah. He knows I'm not going to kick him to the curb. Jiminy Christmas. I'm having problems with my ending sounds. Or the other thing I'll say, if I don't use something in, never mind, I'm not going to say that one. So can somebody put Dana's link up? Because Dana is close to having 500 subscribers, and April was trying to make that happen last night. Because April got her 500, yesterday, I think? And Dawn got, let's see, maybe April got hers the day before yesterday, and Dawn got hers yesterday. Scrapbook Sage. I like using real names, so I have to remember that. And when I do that, sometimes folks don't know what in the world I'm talking about or who in the world I'm talking about. What is this? Go away. You're bothering me. So I did have a regular size vintage photo pad, but I think I left it in Arizona. So I'm in the too cheap mode to buy another one right now. That will pass, I'm sure. Hi, Gypsy. Okay, now what I want to do is move this stuff out of the way. And I'm just going to give it a little interest with the little sewing. Who knows what Dana's channel name is? So you could type the channel name in. Does anybody? Whoa. Usually I go like this. There, that helps to show what I'm doing a little bit. Thanks, Cindy. There's the channel name, Scrappy Girl hyphen Dana Yates. Well, phooey. Okay, so that gave it a little bit of interest. And then if any of those pieces of tea bags start to come up, there, took me a while to remember how to take that off. I have a 5-second memory about things. So then it would be nice to put a focal image on here. We could do something like this. That's pretty. What happens if I ink it? And how about a tear right there? Oops, what the heck is that? Is it on the other side? I can never remember which side to pull this tape off of. And then I was thinking maybe one of my scrappy flowers. I don't know, does purple go? Oops, that's 2. I guess I'll go with the purple. Need a tiny little bit of cheesecloth. I don't know if this will be enough. Sorry, it's this kind of stuff that I'm sure is super frustrating to watch me do. Oh, I finally thought to look up and check out what kind of leg I might have today, because yesterday the leg was awful. Oh, I should have put that down first. Ah. So today I'm using Barely Art Precision Craft Glue and Pritt Stick. I'm just going to bunch that a little bit right there. And put some more glue right there. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue right there. And that's done. So, recycling your tea bags after you've had a cup of tea or brewed some tea for to tea dye papers. But using these tea bags are a great way to bring texture into your projects. Cheap craft supply if you like tea. I could also, sometimes I like to maintain the structure of the tea bag, and I could pour some sequins in there, and then I could use that on a page. What I got for a book. So I could use that on a page, maybe staple it, or like have it here, and then I could use it kind of like the way a belly band would work, like that, and then have some sequins or some dried flowers in there. But what I'm trying to say, as usual, is that the sky is the limit for your craft supplies. Just keep watching those videos, keep sharing what you know about doing things like that, and we'll continue to have fun. So, big make today. I am not the mess maker. We have these two little items for today, and I'm at 53 minutes, so I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'm gonna go back to inking some ephemera and working on my new, this is my new ephemera book. So it was kind of interesting. I've never made a journal this way, but I'm really more prone to experiment with ephemera books. So each one of the signatures is just one page that was sewn in. And what's interesting is that with this one, let me see if I can find a template. Oh no, I tore it to do something with it. But do I still have it? I think so. So this was a full page, like it had this whole page and then it had this in the middle. So what I did was I took another template that I had was just one hole, put all 4 pieces of this paper together and poked the holes at one time in all 4 and then separated them and poked the holes in here and then sewed these in. And what's weird is that instead of just doing one, tying it off, cutting the thread, and then doing another, tying it off, cutting the thread, I started in this hole and I went down and up and then through the middle, and then I tied, and then I came to this one, went down and up. It's a little fiddly because you have to have a longer string of thread, but it was interesting. It not my go-to, not something I'm crazy about because I wasn't paying attention. I think I was watching April's video when I was doing this, and my strings are really super loose. So there's that. But it was a fun experiment. The papers that I worked with are absolutely gorgeous. I did a combination of 32-pound paper and Canon photo matte paper, which I can't remember how many pounds that is. But so I could have used heavier cardboard and it would have been more heavy duty, more sturdy, but I'm just playing. So I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and thanks again for joining me. Please remember to hit the thumbs up on your way out, and I'd love if you wanted to chat to me in the comments, ask any questions, make any suggestions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you